The information in this map might just hold the answers to all the questions. Why there's been such a surge of Bigfoot sightings and migration in the past few weeks. Unless you've been under a rock for the past month or so, you have heard about all the Bigfoot sightings, specifically in Ohio. At least 8 confirmed sightings, but even more strange than that, all of them were moving in a southeast direction. I made videos about this, and that's at surface level interesting, to say the least. But if you dig a little deeper, in which I did, it gets more and more interesting. I went down a rabbit hole. I thought perhaps this was just an isolated incident, a series of events over a matter of a few weeks, but it didn't end in Ohio. I had people reaching out from Michigan, parts of Canada, with similar sightings and similar behavior. Things like Bigfoot moving in a southeast direction. But then I got to thinking, why? Why southeast? What is significant about the southeastern part of the U.S.? Of course, we have the Appalachian Mountains, and my initial thought was if I was trying to hide or run from something, I couldn't think of a better place than the mountains of Appalachia. Dense forest, some places have probably never even seen a human foot. You could get lost in these mountains and probably never be found. But something with that just didn't set right, because when it comes to things like Bigfoot or cryptids in general, I'm torn down the middle as to what these things are. Some people buy into the woo theory that these are interdimensional creatures. They are aliens, perhaps. Some people believe they're more biological, hairy bipedal creature. I think it could be a mixture of both. But there still has to be something significant about this southeast location. Then I remembered. If you've never heard of the 37th parallel, you should go to Google as soon as this video is over. Type in 37th parallel. It's an invisible line that runs across the United States and beyond, but it runs right through Kentucky, almost right over where I live, and into other parts of the Appalachian region. Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina, it all kind of heads up right there. This is often referred to as the Paranormal Highway. Usually people associate UFOs, UAPs, things up in the sky with the 37th parallel, which rightfully so, because along the 37th parallel, that is where the majority of your UFO, UAP sightings occur. That is where the most cattle mutilations take place. But did you know whenever one of these UFO sightings occur, a Bigfoot sighting is usually within like 100 kilometers, or it happens within a certain time frame. I can't remember what it is, but they kind of go hand in hand with each other. And no one really knows why, except the one common denominator is that 37th parallel, which gets people's attention in the sky. But I think maybe we need to start looking at ground level, or even below ground. That invisible parallel that runs through Kentucky runs right over Mammoth Cave. The Mammoth Cave system is the largest cave system in the world. While they have discovered and explored a good portion of it, there is still much more that has never, ever by a human being been explored, or at least in modern history. There are a lot of reports out of Mammoth Cave of paranormal events, ghostly type sightings, Bigfoot, you name it. People have seen or encountered these things within the Mammoth Cave system somewhere. And I kind of started thinking about all this, and you guys have heard me say before, I don't believe in coincidences. Why is there this shift, this movement of these creatures moving from the north to the south? And it all seems to kind of head up at this 37th parallel terminal. It's like a terminal for these entities, these creatures, whatever they may be, whether it's biological or interdimensional. And of course, these are just theories. I can't prove any of these theories to be true, but I can't help consider them, because if you turn on the news, or if you get on your phone and you get on Facebook, or pretty much anywhere, you hear something about UFOs, UAPs, and the government. Government disclosure. They're supposed to release information about aliens and UAPs. And recently there have been several scientists who have either went missing or found dead. And all of these scientists have kind of one thing in common. They are somehow involved or have been involved with things with outer space, with UAPs, UFOs, space in general. Something is up, and I don't know what it is. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not saying there's some morbid plan that's unfolding before our eyes. I'm not saying there isn't. I just know something's up. If you've been involved with the paranormal, like I have for well over 20 years, it's like you can feel a shift in something. And I'm not a psychic. I'm not a medium. I'm not anything like that. I'm not saying I can tell the future. Something just seems off, and I can't put my finger on it. And if you start connecting the dots, be it Bigfoot's migrating southeast, or an upkick in UFO, UAP sightings, the government disclosure, the missing scientist, and even hauntings, things of that nature, what we would call ghosts, which I think are demons, there's been something more with that. And the scary part about it all, I mean, I know a lot of people don't believe my theory on ghosts, which is they're demonic. They're not even trying to hide anymore, if you've noticed that. Like things that 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years ago, that things that were only talked about or did in the dark or in secret, are now handed to you on a silver platter. It's accepted. Things going on in the world, we don't even bat an eye at. Things that, again, 30, 40 years ago, people would have been all up in chaos, terrified, talking about it. It's just another day. I think that is by design. I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think it's an accident. I think everything that's been happening essentially since the dawn of time, but more specifically in the last several years, is starting to come to fruition. It's like we're on the eve of something big, but I don't know what it is. And I can't help but believe that this 37th parallel, be it an invisible line, but it is a paranormal highway that runs right through Appalachia, parts of Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia. That whole hub, this one area, seems to be like some sort of paranormal terminal, like an airport. But I'm curious what you think about it. Is this all just a big coincidence? My theory. Or is there something else going on? Something that is right in front of our faces, yet we can't see? Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Please smash that like button, turn on all notifications, and subscribe. That's the best way you can support me and this channel. You can also follow me over on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook as The Supernatural Sleuth. If you have any kind of story, picture, or video you would like to share, you can send me an email at thesupernaturalsleuth@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much. I pray you have a blessed day. I'll see you soon.